Let's have a good week, everybody. And part of that is not stepping on landmines. We have two big inflation numbers this week. Most are betting or believe that we'll have benign inflation reports, that should be bearish for the dollar, bullish for risk. Lower yields would come with that. And in fact, lower dollar should also be part of that scenario. Now, for me, and everyone's different, we put on some nice shorts. The recommendation was to sell between 570 and 580. And on Friday, I said there should be some follow through to the downside after the negative week. We're getting it and use that to book some profits. Um, it's up to you if you want to just keep some, but tighten up your stops to above these highs here to where you were selling it close to BE or BE. If you want to risk it on the two reports in case they come out hot. And after the dust clears on Wednesday, I'll be back with you and we'll see how this resolved itself. And, maybe the consensus is right. I think one of the signs that would be negative for the dollar would be for it to close back under 105. Not trade under 105, but close. And I'd be talking about a daily close, not a 4-hour candle. But if you saw a daily close, if you look left, you had a double top here, right? And when we sold off hard, we traded underneath it, but we haven't closed beneath it. So that's going to be a pretty negative signal that argues for continuation back to, guess what? The 380 level, which is, again, has been a big pivot. The 103.80, we played it quite a few times in this market that, was pretty important resistance. And then once we got under 380, we got to 250. So that would be the next measured move, would be down here towards this support. And under 103.50, I think you're talking par. So we have an inside week in the dollar. We haven't taken out last week's low. So far, it's a double inside week. That's as neutral as you get. I want to talk about red numbers, big numbers, and what I like to do. I won't put new trades on now in front of them. I don't like to play roulette. I've tried it enough. I've had, where it's worked. Was a good guess and the news went my way. But I think the more professional way and the more prudent way, and I believe in prudence over valor, I really don't need to be a hero anymore. I just want to be effective in the market. And that means looking for lower risk opportunities. So instead of positioning to predict an outcome from a number, I'd rather let the number come out and react to the reaction. That's trading. Predicting and putting a position on because you think you're going to have a lower CPI and you short the dollar just because of that reason, is more or less a red or black bet on the roulette wheel. So I prefer to, before I'm going to start putting fresh money or new trades on, most probably I won't do it until we have all the noise out of the way and react after Wednesday's CPI. A weaker dollar, as I said, should lift risk, and we're getting that lift. You really can't find a bear anymore in S&Ps because this rally, when it was down here, I was just looking for 5150 and we made short work of that here. Once we got through 5150, then I thought we'd go to 5220. We're about 50 handles away from new all-time highs. It looks like a layup, but it still is a lower high. The only thing I'm positioned on right now is long VIX calls going into July, the 18th strike. And actually, VIX has already discounted new highs because it already went back to the prior lows. So we have a little gap higher opening today. We'll see. But I think also these numbers in the next couple of days are also going to be an important factor for what happens to risk. I still think there's a chance we don't make new highs. So, but I'm not going to put fresh money into like shorting S&Ps right here in case they get what they need, and that would be, soft inflation numbers where the Fed can go. Just a couple of the things I want to wrap it with. For example, here's one of the leaders that I talked about last time before we had a correction, and that was Amazon. Okay, so we held here, right, and have rallied back to new highs. Look at the daily divergence on this. Okay, I don't need to put my cursor up to know that this reading at new highs is glaring. It's under 70. Okay, so I think puts in Amazon could work. I actually talked about, maybe we get a pullback all the way towards 160, and if you look left, there's a gap that would be filled at 160. So anyway, Amazon looks negative to me. Nvidia's trying. Still not a new high, still a lower peak. In fact, hasn't recovered as much as the general market. So I think if there's a surprise, it's going to come on the yield front because you guys know, I want to go with the consensus. I think that it's time that, yields start to drop. We've retraced 78%, but, can I really rule out another push up in yields if we hold this? This is analogous to like the 105 close in the dollar would be this 434 level, as you can see right here. And we have 200-day moving averages coming in here. And then I looked at the weekly on TLT, and I know we're up here again today. But compared to what risk did, like S&Ps last week, straight up, dollar magnitude wasn't as large as that, but it was a pretty good decline. What happened in TLT was really not impressive to me. So here we are, and here's the weekly. So I really think we need to clear 92. And if we have hot numbers, we could trade down here again. So that's something that I'm paying attention to. This really wasn't that impressive of a rally, and this decline was not that severe from the 78.6 level. So I'm neutral. I don't know what these reports are going to do. I think that hot reports are going to have a lot of people wrong-footed that are, bearish a dollar, bearish, bullish risk, bullish bonds, all of that. So prudence over valor. I'm going to react to the numbers rather than trying to predict them. You can hold your shorts, like for example, we talked about the short in the Dixie, but we also talked last week about buying the pound, 24 and a half or so at the 61.8. So you could, take partials. We start getting over 126, it's going to look pretty good. But, if we have hot numbers, it could come back here and trade 124. So you have 100 pips or so here on this. So you could take partials and put in BE stops from whatever you paid for the pound. Canada, same situation. We had sells from here on Thursday, said to take half. So you have 90 pips, 85 pips from there. These were all posted in the room. And if we have benign CPI. The next movement, Canada's 35.5. But, if we have a hot one, maybe we're going to blow to test out the highs because, this high was confirmed. It kind of looks like a flag, but so these are the two areas. If it's benign, I would be taking profits here at 560 on the remainder. Gold and silver are having strange days. Gold was down 20, now it's only down 12, while the silver's up 18 cents, and the gold silver ratio has a pretty negative day. So if the dollar's going to continue to be weak and bad, pretty good correlation between the gold silver ratio and the dollar. And this should continue lower with a weaker dollar because silver normally outperforms with a weaker dollar over gold. And that'd be a lower gold silver ratio. So I think I've given you guys a lot to chew on. There's much more to chew on in the main trading room. I want to wish people good hunting this week. Reduce margin. Don't load up in front of these two inflation numbers. And I think we could throw in Jay Powell's going to be speaking as well this week. So I know we say it almost every week, like when we had the Fed and the NFP, that was a critical week. That's what got the lower yields narrative rolling. And we'll see if the inflation numbers this week confirm that and that yields continue to drop, dollar continues to drop, supportive for metals. And one last update, I covered the grains last week. I just want to update you on them. Corn's looking great. Look at that, right up against a 200-day. Wheat has been the outperformer. Okay, start talking about it. I don't know, here. And beans are bringing up the rear, but they still look okay too. So weaker dollar would also be supportive of these as well. That's a wrap. Remember, don't just count your bushels or your barrels or your coins or your pips, count your blessings. And I'll be back with Mike tomorrow. And Mike will be on, I believe, in about an hour and 22 minutes to give you his update on what's happening on the board. Good luck, and I'll see you tomorrow on the Mike and Dale Show. Adios.